This video is about 100 gardening tools, showing their common names and short explanations of how they're used. You'll see everything from hand tools to pruning, watering, and lawn equipment, all explained clearly so you can understand what each tool does and which ones are most useful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hand tools, basic essentials. Hand trowel, used for digging small holes, transplanting seedlings, loosening soil, and planting bulbs in garden beds or pots. Transplanter, used for moving seedlings and small plants with minimal root disturbance during replanting. Hand fork, used for loosening compacted soil, breaking clumps, and aerating soil around plants. Weeder, used for removing weeds from the root without disturbing nearby plants. Dibber, used for making uniform holes for planting seeds, bulbs, or seedlings. Garden scoop, used for transferring soil, compost, or fertilizer easily into pots or planters. Soil knife, hori-hori, used for digging, cutting roots, measuring depth, and dividing plants. Bulb planter, used for creating evenly sized holes for planting bulbs quickly and accurately. Soil scoop, used for filling pots or distributing soil and compost with minimal mess. Hand cultivator, used for breaking up surface soil, mixing fertilizer, and improving aeration around plants. Support and maintenance tools. Garden gloves, used for protecting hands from thorns, dirt, cuts, and blisters while gardening. Kneeling pad, used for cushioning knees during planting, weeding, or ground-level work. Garden apron, used for holding small tools and seeds while keeping clothes clean. Tool belt, used for carrying pruners, trowels, and other small tools for quick access. Garden seat or stool, used for providing comfort and support during long gardening sessions. Digging and soil tools. Spade, used for digging holes, edging beds, and turning or mixing soil. Shovel, used for moving soil, gravel, mulch, or compost efficiently. Trenching spade, used for digging deep, narrow trenches for drainage or irrigation. Post hole digger, used for digging narrow, deep holes for fence posts or trees. Mattock, used for breaking up hard or rocky soil and cutting through roots. Pickaxe, used for loosening compacted or rocky soil that's difficult to dig with a shovel. Drain spade, used for shaping trenches and transplanting plants with minimal root damage. Digging bar, used for prying rocks, roots, or hard soil during landscaping. Manual auger, used for drilling planting holes for bulbs, fence posts, or soil sampling. Garden hoe, used for loosening soil, removing weeds, and shaping planting rows. Rakes and leveling tools. Leaf rake, used for gathering fallen leaves, grass clippings, and light debris from lawns. Bow rake, garden rake, used for leveling soil, spreading mulch, and breaking up soil clumps. Landscape rake, used for smoothing soil or gravel over large landscaping areas. Thatch rake, used for removing dead grass and thatch buildup from lawns. Hand rake, used for cleaning debris and loosening soil in tight garden spaces. Pruning and cutting tools. Hand pruners, or secateurs, used for trimming small branches, stems, and shaping plants. Loppers, used for cutting thicker branches that hand pruners cannot handle. Pruning saw, used for sawing through medium to thick branches on trees and shrubs. Hedge shears, used for trimming and shaping hedges evenly. Grass shears, used for cutting and edging grass in hard-to-reach areas. Anvil pruners, used for cutting through dry or dead wood with more force. Bypass pruners, used for making clean cuts on live green stems and branches. Pole pruner, used for cutting high branches without using a ladder. Electric hedge trimmer, used for quickly shaping and maintaining large hedges. Chainsaw, used for cutting thick tree limbs, pruning, or removing small trees. Watering and irrigation tools. Watering can, used for controlled watering of indoor plants and small garden areas. Garden hose, used for watering large garden areas and lawns efficiently. Soaker hose, used for slow, deep watering directly to plant roots. Sprinkler, used for evenly watering lawns and garden beds. Drip irrigation system, used for delivering water directly to the base of each plant. Hose nozzle, used for adjusting water pressure and spray pattern while watering. Hose reel, used for organizing and storing garden hoses neatly. Rain barrel, used for collecting and storing rainwater for garden use. Water timer, used for automatically controlling watering duration and frequency. Misting wand, used for gently watering delicate plants and seedlings. Planting and growing tools. Seed tray, used for starting seeds indoors or in controlled environments. Seed spreader, used for evenly spreading seeds or fertilizer over soil. Compost bin, used for decomposing organic waste into natural fertilizer. Soil sifter, used for removing rocks and debris from soil to make it finer. Potting bench, used as a workspace for potting, planting, and soil preparation. Plant labels, used to identify plant varieties or seed types in garden beds. Trellis, used for supporting climbing plants like beans, peas, and vines. Plant stakes, used for supporting tall or weak-stemmed plants. Plant ties, used to secure plants to stakes or trellises without causing damage. Row marker, used to create straight, evenly spaced planting lines. Measuring and testing tools. Soil pH meter, used to measure soil acidity or alkalinity to choose proper plants. Soil moisture meter, used to check soil hydration levels to prevent overwatering. Soil temperature meter, used to determine when soil temperature is ideal for planting. Rain gauge, used to measure rainfall to adjust watering needs. Measuring tape, used to measure plant spacing and garden layout. Plant height gauge, used to track plant growth progress accurately. Soil tester kit, used to test soil nutrient levels like nitrogen and potassium. Light meter, used to measure sunlight exposure in different garden areas. Weather station, used to monitor temperature, humidity, and other conditions affecting plants. Soil probe, used to collect deep soil samples to test moisture and nutrients. Power and lawn tools. Lawnmower, used to cut grass evenly to maintain a neat, healthy lawn. String trimmer, or weed eater, used to trim grass along edges, fences, and corners. Lawn edger, used to create clean and sharp borders around lawns and sidewalks. Leaf blower, used for clearing leaves, debris, and grass clippings from lawns or driveways. Garden vacuum, used for collecting leaves and debris, sometimes with a mulching feature. Tiller, or cultivator, used for loosening and aerating soil before planting. Rototiller, used for breaking up large areas of compacted soil for new garden beds. Electric dethatcher, used for removing dead grass and thatch buildup from lawns. Aerator, used to create small holes in soil to improve air and water circulation. Chipper shredder, used for turning branches and leaves into mulch or compost material.
Containers and storage. Plant pots, used for growing plants with controlled soil and drainage. Grow bags, used for portable planting with better root aeration and drainage. Hanging baskets, used for growing decorative plants and flowers in small spaces. Cold frame, used to protect seedlings and young plants from frost. Greenhouse, used for growing plants year-round in a controlled environment. Garden cart, used for transporting tools, plants, and soil around the garden. Wheelbarrow, used for carrying heavy materials like soil, compost, or gravel. Tool organizer, used for keeping small hand tools neatly stored and accessible. Compost tumbler, used for speeding up compost decomposition by rotating waste. Garden storage shed, used for storing all gardening tools and supplies safely. Specialty and pest control tools. Slug trap, used for capturing and removing slugs without chemicals. Insect netting, used for protecting plants from insects while allowing sunlight through. Row cover, used for shielding crops from pests, frost, and harsh sunlight. Bird netting, used for preventing birds from eating fruits and vegetables. Plant sprayer, used for applying pesticides, fertilizers, or foliar sprays. Hand duster, used for spreading powder-based pest control evenly over plants. Mole trap, used for catching and removing moles that damage roots or lawns. Garden torch, used for killing weeds naturally with heat instead of chemicals. Deer repellent device, used for scaring or deterring deer using motion or scent. Ultrasonic pest repeller, used for repelling rodents and insects through high-frequency sound waves.